Hello everybody, this is Craig from 9 Volt Games, and today I'm going to do, I hate this angle, I should clean this up before I do my next video, but today I'm going to do a video for, in continuance with all these Silent Hill videos, I'm going to just run through the whole catalog. I've done one, and I've done a playthrough of 2, so I'm not going to do those games, unless you guys really want me to go ahead and talk about 1 and 2 again. I absolutely will. I can talk about that shit all day, but I'm going to go through the other ones that actually have been requested and I haven't touched. And this one is the most requested. Why haven't you done a video about this? Silent Hill 3. So, Silent Hill 3 came out beginning of August 2003. I was going into my senior year of high school. And I was actually, the day that it came out, I was visiting my sister in Syracuse for a week. So I didn't get to play it. I actually had my friend Gilbert borrow my PS2, and I gave him $50 to go pick this up on the day that it came out. And when I came back, I wanted a full report on how fucking good it was. And I came back, he told me it was like one of the freakiest games he ever played. He loved Silent Hill 2 as well. He was a Silent Hill fanatic. And I was really looking forward to this game. Now when it comes to Silent Hill 3, I absolutely love this game as a Silent Hill game, and I absolutely hate it as a Silent Hill piece. Let me explain this. When this game came out, I loved it. I loved that it was a continuation of the first game, like I said in yesterday's video. Silent Hill 1 was a solid game, solid story, and, you know, with this being a direct sequel of 1, a little apprehensive, a little scared, like, why are you going to touch it? And it was awesome. I love that you actually got to play as Cheryl or Heather in this game. I don't care about spoilers for this. This has been out since, like I said, August. In America, it's been out since August 2003. If you have not played this, I'm sorry. I'm going to spoil the shit out of it for you. I like that you played as Heather, and I like that it it actually included everything. You got to see Harry die, which was fucking, it floored me back when that happened. Like, you're going to visit Harry, and he's dead in front of the TV. The same way that you saw the dead James corpse in Silent Hill 2, and I was just like, oh my god. That's the hero that you fucking played as, who was kind of not a hero, but still a hero, and he's fucking dead, and then boom, start Act 2 of the game, actually going into Silent Hill, which was great to me, and that's actually a problem that I have with this game, is that it kind of set the tone for 2 things, and it should have been left alone with this game, because this game did it perfectly. A lot of you people in here talk about, you like the cult, when they go into the cult and they talk about the cult. I don't like the cult if it's not being involved in Silent Hill 1 or 2. I didn't like the whole cult thing in Origins. I'll talk about that when I get to Origins, which will probably be next. I know I'm doing it crazy out of order. But I don't like the cult if it doesn't involve the Mason family. You know what I mean? Because I feel like just because it's Silent Hill that they can throw Dahlia into any fucking game, just like they can throw Pyramid Head into any game, just to like try to build a solid base for a story, and that's not how it works. I mean, it's hard not to name drop Origins in here just because they had to put that in the story, and it connects directly to 3 now. But I really don't think that the cult should be involved, and this is where it makes me feel different as a fan, because Silent Hill 1 was amazing. Harry Mason, going to save your daughter, find out that you just, like, you know, took her from Silent Hill and blah, 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 and then, you know, he ends up getting the good half of Alessa back. Silent Hill 2, you played as James, and then it just created this whole, like, you know, pretty much everything's open up to the player's interpretation, whereas 1 had a story that was, you know, out for you. You had a base story in 2, and then you could just come up with your own conclusions. Like, a cool fan theory I saw was the way that it focused on the trunk, and the fact that you find out Laura's age in 2 kind of pinpoints that Mary could actually be in James's trunk right in the beginning of the game, her dead body. Like, you know what I mean? That was cool. Like, you were able to do that. And then what that kind of set for me was, alright, 1 was awesome, 2 was awesome. They weren't related except in name. And then it was kind of like, I was hoping that Silent Hill was going to go in the vein of Final Fantasy, where they just share basic gameplay similarities with some things different, most things familiar, and then the stories themselves are going to be something independent. You know what I mean? And they didn't do that when they went back to 3. They did a sequel. So then I got scared. I was like, I hope they don't try and do a sequel to 2, even though you really couldn't, or like another spin-off of 2, or blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they didn't, because, well, they did. They actually connected 2. So when I thought Homecoming was coming out, I thought Homecoming was going to be a direct connection to 1, because I was like, well, you know, 1 to 3, 2 to 4, but they didn't do that, and we'll talk about Homecoming when I get to that. But as far as the story goes to this, some of my favorite moments were in this game. The mannequin part, scary as shit. A lot of this game was actually freaky, and it kind of got combat heavy, but Heather was a badass, and I liked her demeanor in the game, and you could tell through the character, you could tell that Harry raised her like to be super cautious, and she's like mouthy and blah blah blah, and it's the character you expected to see, you know, as a late teenager, from the character that you were familiarized with in 1 and what her father was like. So I thought they did a really good job handling the characters and bringing them up. As far as introducing more people in, you know, within the cult, they had to do that for the story because the cult was trying to pull her back to Birth of God. And, you know, it was basically, they were trying to recreate the same premise with a different protagonist as part 1. And, you know, they basically like, you need to remember who you are and blah, blah, blah. And then one of my favorite characters, and he was the asshole character of this game, I actually enjoyed, and they butchered him in Revelations in the movie, was Vincent. Because Vincent had my favorite quote in all Silent Hill games, is when he's talking to Heather and she's talking about the monsters in the other world, and Vincent goes, "Monsters? They look like monsters to you?" And then she covers her mouth and he goes, "Don't worry, that was just a joke." But his demeanor throughout the game kind of pinpoints to that probably wasn't a joke, and maybe she is killing real people. So that was always cool to me. That was like kind of the toss back to Silent Hill 2, where I feel like it was left up to your interpretation. But the more that they fucking put this cult in the game, the more they're cutting out interpretation, because they're trying to form this story, but every time they do things with the cult, it's fucking different. So at least 1 to 3 kept it the same. And Claudia, I just wanted to punch in the face the whole time. I'm so glad. I'm so glad she got it. And she got it hard, too. Didn't rip right out of her fucking back. That was amazing. Silent Hill 3, also, one reason I didn't like it, obviously wasn't until way later, is when Revelations came out, is because it gave Revelations material to take and butcher. And that's not Silent Hill 3's fault, but yeah, this was, you know, this was the last true Team Silent game to me, because you know my thoughts on The Room. I don't think The Room was supposed to be a Silent Hill game at all, and they just slapped, you know, the likeness on it because they got cold feet or whatever. So to me, Silent Hill 3 is the last true Team Silent game regarding Silent Hill. And I don't know, I think it was going back to familiar places. That was a pretty cool thing. And you know, I'm surprised you didn't go to Alchemilla Hospital. You ended up going to Brookhaven Hospital when you were fighting Leonard. Some of the bosses were really cool in this game too. I liked fighting Leonard. I liked fighting the giant worm, because that was kind of like you know, the fairy tale boss that was in part 1 in the bottom of the school, the basement of the school. That's what it reminded me of, because they kind of had the same style attacks. And then the god at the end was pretty cool. Everyone's favorite non-interactable character was in this one. That's Valtiel. You can actually get an awesome action figure statue of him turning the valves and climbing on the floor. It's fucking amazing. Yes, he's that guy. The guy who's always turning the valves. But there was a lot of cool stuff in here that I liked. And oh yeah, this is one I thought about. Sorry, I was trying to make this video quick, but I did interpretations for part 2. I want to do just light interpretations of part 3. The enemies in part 3, I'm sorry, the enemies in Silent Hill 1 were something that a child would make up. And it makes sense, because these are things that came from Alessa. She's the one that created the other world of things that she feared. You know, there was the mean children in the school, bugs, things that, you know, kids are scared of, giant moths, fucking little bugs in the sewer. scary dogs, pterodactyl. I don't know why the pterodactyl was there, but my son says that he's afraid of dinosaurs, so who the fuck knows? And then when you get into Silent Hill 3, the enemies are kind of like grown-up versions of the enemies in Part 1, which I thought was pretty cool. Because, you know, instead of the little mean kids, you got the giant, like, fucking bulbous bad guys. You still have your, you know, you have your nurses and stuff, which kids are afraid of the doctors, so I thought that was pretty cool. You still have your dogs and some weird shit that climbs around on the hospital floor drinking blood. But it was cool. I don't know, that's one thing I thought of, because it's the scene when she backs into the elevator and she's looking at all the monsters and she doesn't realize who she is yet. She's looking at all the monsters and she's like, this is stuff a kid would make up. So there was a lot of cool things to it, and it sucked I had to wait a week to play it because I was so amped, but that's talking about, like, I was getting overhyped, and it still didn't ruin it for me. I still thoroughly enjoyed this game. There was a lot of badass moments, namely in the subway when you get the phone call, the whole happy birthday Heather shit, having Creepy Douglas follow you around only to find out that he's actually a good guy in your best interest, and realistically what he should have done at the end of the game when he put that gun up to her head, he should have blown Heather's brains out, but he didn't do it. He should have, because this is just going to continue happening. And then Konami, why the fuck didn't you go back and do something with Heather again instead of letting somebody else ruin her in a fucking movie? You could have done something again with Heather. I don't know. But instead they went and did fucking Downpour, and they got the guy who did Dexter music to do that one. Wait till I get to that game too. Oh, let me clarify this too, just because I had a conversation with someone in comments about it. When I say American game, American Silent Hill, I'm talking about the Tom Hewlett Silent Hills. Now, Climax Games is the UK, and Vatra Games was no longer, I guess is no longer a company anymore. That's Czech Republic. So there's a lot of blame to go around for the ruining of Silent Hill. So UK people, you are not off the hook. But it was one of our guys who actually ruined the shit. So sorry about that. But yes, Silent Hill 3, in my opinion, the last actual Silent Hill game. You know, with The Room being the last, like, good Team Silent final send-off game. This was the last good Silent Hill game to me. That actually didn't take place in Silent Hill for the whole game, surprisingly. And that's something that's actually a pet peeve of mine in the newer games. But this one, I think it was just because of what the story was, and, you know, Harry's not going to raise her in Silent Hill after that shit happened, so she would have to go back. But if you ever watched Revelations and you never played 3, shame the fuck on you. Go back and play 3. Don't do it through the HD collection, because they did not make the effort to go get the actual permissions to use the old voice actors. They recast the whole game. I wish they didn't do it, because the voice acting was phenomenal in this game. I thought the girl who did Heather did an amazing job, and everybody else did just the right amount of crazy, you know, for the other characters. And that's actually another thing I was telling someone on Twitter today. This is why I absolutely hate IGN, is I know for a fact they did not play the HD collection before they reviewed it, because they gave it a 9, and they did not mention that there was some of the issues with 3, namely that Konami didn't make the fucking effort to go back and get the permission to do the original voice actors and actresses. But that's it. I did love 3. I have nothing bad to say about 3. I know people have been asking for a long time for me to do a video of 3. Mainly do a Let's Play of 3, but I don't feel right doing a Let's Play of 3 off the HD collection when there was nothing wrong with the voices in this one. And I don't have a capture card, so it may not come out great. I know I did the last one off screen, but I don't want to do them off screen anymore. Maybe I can see how it comes out on here, but I don't have the old camera I used to do my Silent Hill 2 Let's Play on, so we'll see. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you want me to do 2 and 1 again, because I totally will, but I think I need to do some of these ones that I hate next. Thank you guys for watching.